Welcome everybody to the Oprah Winfrey Show. Today we are giving out directs. Let's start passing them out. You get a direct. You get a direct. You get a direct. You get a direct. Oh my gosh, Justin, we got one special direct for one special boy. Here you go, direct. Welcome to March, everybody. Another month, another disappointment from Nintendo. It's funny, it gets increasingly harder every month, every week to stay positive for Nintendo when they just do the stuff that they do. They've already had like 5 Nintendo Directs this year, and every single one has been anything and everything under the sun outside of a general Direct. In 2 months alone of 2026 so far, Nintendo has had a Super Mario Galaxy Movie Direct, a Tomodachi Life Direct, which is a Switch 1 game by the way, a third-party partner showcase, a Nintendo Treehouse focused on another Switch 1 game being Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition and Pokemon Pokopia. We had a Pokemon Presents, and now Nintendo has announced an Indie World to start March. Yep, Nintendo announced an Indie World tomorrow, March 3rd at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, with roughly 15 minutes of news and updates on indie games coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and Switch 1 still. I just don't understand. I just don't get Nintendo's new structure. I don't know what in the world they could possibly be thinking. This isn't just some normal year or the end of a current console or something like that. Like, this is the start of a new console. This is literally just like month 8 of a brand new console. How in the world is it feeling like Nintendo's already out of steam completely and we're at the middle/end of a console's life? It's just like, how did we get here? Why is this what's going on? Why am I still a Nintendo fan? I'm not even a huge Pokemon fan, and honestly, if it wasn't for Gen 10's announcement that really just finally gave Nintendo fans some sort of hype, I don't know how I'd be feeling right now. Like, I genuinely would be 0% interested in the Switch 2. This is coming from a diehard Nintendo fan, someone that follows Nintendo's literal every move. Now, could you imagine how a general consumer feels right now, or maybe somebody that was previously on the fence about buying this $450 console? Why in the world would they fork over $450 when Nintendo is doing the absolute bare bottom of the barrel minimum for this console? I feel like Nintendo's going through something entirely new now. We need to invent a new phrase for them. They're going through presentation slop. It never used to be all this stuff. We didn't get a million different mini presentations that were like not even needed. We just got, our big ones, our big directs that had all this stuff in the general direct. There was no point of having a partner showcase, an indie world. Well, they still had indie worlds, but you get what I'm saying. We didn't need a million other things before a Nintendo Direct. Nintendo made sure that the general direct was first and foremost. That was their most important thing. We would get them in Januaries, and then with the Switch 1 era, we got them in Februaries. Now, it doesn't even look like we're going to be getting them in March. I've been seeing some people online predict that we may not get a general Nintendo Direct until May or June, and I thought they were absolutely bonkers crazy. There's absolutely no way Nintendo's going to wait until the summertime with their brand new console in the following year without having any major titles since Donkey Kong Bonanza to have a Nintendo Direct. There's genuinely no way. But with what Nintendo's done the last couple of months and Indie World starting March, I'm actually starting to get genuinely worried for Nintendo. Not for Nintendo, just for like the sake of my interest, because I look over at my Switch 2 right now and I just see the nasty patty. No, I'm joking. It's not that bad. It's more like the normal SpongeBob, just nothing special. Obviously, the Switch 2 is doing really well with sales, but I'm just like, man, is it doing really that good? Is it truly selling that well where Nintendo doesn't have to do anything? There's like no pressure to announce anything new or even give us information on anything that we already know about? Screw it. This ain't even about Mario anymore. Add it to the counter. This is just about Nintendo themselves. Like, there's so much stuff in their schedule that they aren't even talking about. Splatoon Raiders is just a ghost town right now. They don't even want to bring up anything about the game after it was revealed in the summer of last year. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave revealed in the fall of last year in September. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book also revealed in fall. Rhythm Heaven Grooved revealed a year ago in the spring. Nintendo's performing like they have genuinely nothing in the tank. This feels like it's the lead up to a new console, like I said before. It feels like we're back in the end of Switch 1 in 2024, getting some scraps until we're waiting oh so patiently for the big stuff for our brand new Switch 2 that's coming out. But remember, our Switch 2 is out. It's been out for over 8 months. What are we doing? One comment that fans like to use to back up Nintendo even more is that Nintendo fans only like announcements. They don't like games. All you guys want are directs. You don't even want to play the games that come out. It's not true. I mean, I have over 50 hours in Mario Tennis Fever. It's Mario Tennis, dude. We've had a million of them. It's fun, but it's not what I'm waiting to play on my $450 brand new Switch 2 console. Mint condition. I'm sure it's going to have a little bit of fun to it for like a couple of hours, but no, I'm not counting down the days to play 2023's Super Mario Bros. Wonder, just to play with a couple multiplayer modes. Nintendo has things in their current schedule that I'm interested in, but they just won't talk about, or elaborate on, or even give release dates to. It's to the point where I feel like I have to physically force myself to say something positive so I don't sound like a grifter on Nintendo, but it's just genuinely that bad right now. I'm not joking. I'm just not interested in this console. And it's funny because this could actually be one of the better Nintendo Directs that we've ever had, just because of all the stuff that we already know, plus announcing some new things could be really massive for them. I mean, their big holiday game, which we have no clue what it is outside of Pokemon being announced for 2027, there's still just a giant hole for the second half of this year. And my gut is starting to tell me that maybe these people online are right. Maybe some of my content creator friends are correct. We're gonna have to wait until May or maybe even June for a Nintendo Direct, which is just miserable to think about. If this is the new Nintendo, that means it'll be a 9-month wait every single year from the September Direct to a June Direct, which is just 9 months of no information pretty much. It's just horrible. Look, I love Nintendo, but we gotta get to the point as fans where we stop glazing absolutely everything that they do and speak truth. No, I don't think it's healthy just to stay on all the negatives and just focus on that. But I also don't think it's healthy to do the complete opposite and just focus on nothing but positives without criticizing the company justifiably. But let me try to bring it back around a little bit. Maybe we're overreacting and maybe this doesn't mean anything negative. In fact, maybe it's a sign for something positive to come. Probably not, but let's just try. This thing is coming out on the 3rd day of March. It's super early. There still could be another Nintendo Direct the next couple of weeks of March. Who knows? We also still have some sources claiming that something's still happening in March. Do I believe them? Not until it happens. They're even still saying 3D Mario is going to be revealed. But yeah, positives. Positives. One fear that I've had a while ago, and I'm starting to have it again, is that the Mario movie or any type of big Nintendo movie is going to just take up the first half of a year, where Nintendo doesn't really announce anything new or talk about anything game-wise, is because the movie is the game. And if that's the case, I really don't like that. I don't think movies replace video games, ever. Like, that's a completely separate outlet, and it should be treated as such. We also know that video games are taking longer to develop now. Development times are rising, and so are the cost of games. But with that said, I feel like Nintendo's like the only company, them and like Rockstar for GTA 6, that's taking as long as they are for their new titles. I mean, we're pushing like 9 to 10 years for brand new titles to be released. I mean, this December is going to be 8 years since Smash, and this October will be 9 years since 3D Mario. I'm going to keep bringing it up. Maybe this is Nintendo's new Direct schedule. Maybe it's just 2 Directs a year now. One in the springtime and one in the fall. Or perhaps they don't have a Direct until the summertime, until June, maybe even July. You know what? Maybe they make us wait until the fall Nintendo Direct. You know, September to September, 1 year for a Direct, you know? Or you know what? Maybe they just say, let's just go to 2027. You don't need a Direct this year. Why do you need a Direct this year? We don't have games. You don't want games. You know what? Maybe they just say, let's just move to the next console to have a general Nintendo Direct. You know what? Forget it. Nintendo Directs are done. Instead, we're just going to have presentations about presentations. So that way you can be informed. Sorry about that. I just feel like Nintendo is just genuinely watching every video that I make, everything that I say, and they're just like, let's see how far we can push them to insanity this year. Let's see how far we can push him. Let's see what directs, what presentations we can come up with. That's everything and anything but a general Direct. And let's see how far we can push him. And so I'm mentally preparing myself for the very next Nintendo Direct. Actually, I just had a very super mega reliable source just hit me up on my phone. They told me to prepare yourselves for next week. You're not going to believe it. Mario's Left Shoe Direct.